Hey everybody, welcome to Gunpla TV.
Hey guys.
Brought to you by Hobbylink Japan. This is episode 90.
90.
90. And in the last episode, which would have been 89, we mentioned a contest that we're going to have.
Contest.
So we have to clarify some rules because there's been some questions.
Yes.
So Ryan, why don't you take it away? We'll do that first.
Okay, so the first thing is the competition ends Sunday, October 21st.
Yes. Not September 21st.
Not September 21st, sorry. I fixed all the dates.
Okay.
And then what we'll do is we'll create a Facebook album where people can like their favorites, but Sid and I will have final say in who wins the Aventador.
But I'm not gonna go against, you know, if one entry is blatantly good and it has like 100 likes.
Oh yeah, no. What I'm saying is,
gonna,
if one guy has more friends than everyone else, he says to all his friends, like my crappy picture. No.
We're watching you.
Yeah,
Facebook
we
community.
understand. Those people with like 1,000 friends. Okay.
Because we know nobody has 1,000 friends. But anyway.
Yeah. I've had
Clarify these rules.
Okay, no digital manipulation, which means no Photoshop or other image software. Pens, pencils, crayons, paints, or any other natural method of applying a pigment to a paper are fine.
Yep.
So yeah.
Going old school.
Yeah. Now, okay, well there's a question later on, but only one entry per person. We don't want entry stacking. If you don't have a scanner, you can use a camera, but please make sure that it is of a good quality.
Yes.
So what I mean is try to keep the dimensions of an A4 page.
Yeah, we found out after the fact that it's difficult to submit a PDF file.
Yes.
Through the submission on our site. So.
Well, our site does say only JPEG, JPEG, and a GIF only.
Yeah.
But you can submit your line art on Hobbylink TV Facebook.
Yeah.
So there is a user submission section, which, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it.
Okay, good.
That's the competition.
One thing I want to mention, I think it comes up in the questions section later, but I want to mention it now while we're talking about it, is somebody asked about, does it have to be one specific Gundam? Because I think they thought that because I'm building an RX-782, that they have to do an RX-782 as well. No. But no, you can do anything from the Gundam universe. You can do, you know, we've already had a Heavy Arms and an Epion. You can do the Shenandoah, you can do Unicorn. Any Gundam theme color scheme on that Aventador is fine. And it's going to be awesome. Seeing how many different versions we get.
Go to town.
It's going to be awesome.
Okay.
So Ryan, I see that you've progressed a little further on your tank.
I have, and I'll show that. Okay. And I think you have new kits or something to show.
I do. We're going to talk about the kit that came in since our last episode.
Yeah.
This is the MG Buster Gundam. And what we're going to do is we'll show you what's inside. See, you know, I was going to show you what's inside, but you know what I'm going to do instead? I'm just going to show you the actual kit.
Oh my god.
So here it is. This is the Buster.
That is awesome.
So if you followed Hobbylink TV, or the world of Gundam, and specifically Master Grade, in the last year or so, you know, we've seen the Master Grade Dual Gundam Assault Shroud, and we've seen the Master Grade Blitz, and now it's the Buster's turn. And the Buster, for the most part, when you look at the frame design, the torso design, well, it's exactly the same as the Dual and the Blitz. Of course, it's different in the shoulders here, where you have your rocket pods, your missile pods, very similar to the Heavy Arms, which came out last year. And what separates the Buster from these other guys? Well, it's got to be the backpack here. And you can see these giant weapons that this guy has. And this is actually really well done by Bandai. What they've done, these are pretty heavy, but they stay solidly. You don't have to worry about them falling off. What they've done is they've created this little arm. And this little arm here, I'll pull this off for now so everybody can see. This little arm is able to change position, pivot in different spots, and basically allow you to pose the Buster with his weapons in a variety of different poses. So I'll put this back on for now. And you can see it snaps on there. It's quite a loud click. There's a bit of resistance. So you have to be careful, but it's actually very good because it will mean that it's going to stay solid for some time. And what Bandai has also done, if you look at the handles here, there's actually a total of 4 of these on the kit. The other 2 being underneath this thing right here. There's actually 4 handles, and they have this little hollow here, and that little hollow is meant to accommodate the little grooves that are found in the hands when it's holding on. But you don't have to worry about having the hands support the weight of the kit, the weight of the weapon, thanks to the arms that Bandai has designed. For example, if I want to have this guy just holding these here, we'll put these back. if I just, you know, swing it around here, going down this way, bend it like this, you can see that I can, where's that handle here? I can open up this handle and this guy is able to grab the handle, spin it this way and he can grab this handle this side. Let me put this back on here. They actually, I'm glad that they make this come off easily. Like at first I was worried it falls off. But when you want to actually put the hands on there and pose it properly, having the ability to take it off, put this in its hands, and put it back on again afterwards is going to save you a lot of frustration and time because you're actually working with some small spaces in here. You can even extend it out forward entirely, like this. So you can have these kind of poses as well. It's really well done. But of course, that's not just all. You can take these off the arms at any time you want. Fold this baby back up, put them back away. And we'll take this guy off here. Now they give you a couple different variations with this. You can slide this guy into here and make it extend to its massive form here. Come on. So you can see it's quite long, and the Buster's able to carry it because of the handles here, right? And it actually switches around the other side too. You can swing it around and push it in this side. And because these parts move this way, you can actually accommodate where his hands are at any time. I'll pull this off here, turn it this way. And I'm able to actually move this part with the handles into any space that I want to so he can grab them. But I have yet to play around with this guy to his full potential. That's what I'm going to be doing this afternoon, I think. So for now, I'm just going to leave Buster like this. One thing I do want to mention though is this little piece on the back of the leg, it will come off. But you don't have to worry about it. It will come off very easily, but it's large enough you're not going to lose it, and it's easy enough to put back on that it's really actually not that much of a problem. So for you Seed fans like myself, the Buster is quite possibly the best Masquerade kit of the 3 so far released. Alright, so Buster is quite yeah,
that's an amazing
guy
kit.
Here. It's pretty crazy. This thing's awesome. I love it. Like, just pop this off and do the same this way, you know. That's great. Anyway, I'm going to play this for a while longer afterwards. But I know, Ryan, you want to show your tank.
Yeah, give me a minute to
so
set up, and yeah, I'll chat about my tank.
Sounds good.
So, as you can see, I finished the photo etch parts. It didn't go exactly to plan, but it's a tank and it takes damage, so...
That's what I always say. My giant Gundams.
It'll be, yeah. But very difficult to do photo etch parts, especially like when you have to bend them and fold them and everything. But it actually makes the kit look so much more realistic. Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah.
I've actually finished I've finished the tank. Next is just to spray it all. You can see here's a mounted gun. There is another little gun that mounts on the back here. I don't even know if you can see that guy. I'll put him on the tank. So you've got a couple of small guns. Another thing I'd like to point out is this, well, I guess it's going to be piping, which is this string. It's not glued in, so I can easily take it out and
that's good.
Do whatever I need to do to it. There's just one thing to keep in mind. If you can't read Japanese, you are actually meant to cut the cable. It's actually quite long. So you're meant to cut it to 165 millimeters.
Yeah, the good thing, can you show that manual again?
Yeah, sure.
Good thing about Bandai when they do that, and you see this in their Gundam kits all the time, is they actually give you a ruler on that page.
Oh, awesome.
So you can line that up and you just use that.
I didn't even notice it.
Did you cut it to 165 millimeters using a ruler, right?
No, I just cut it to what I thought was right.
Well, it's exactly right there.
I didn't know. If I had known. But anyway, I just cut it. I mean, it was fine anyway.
Yeah.
I just
they give you actually extra. They give you usually what ends up to being 10 or 20 millimeters extra.
No, I had a bunch of rope left. So yeah, that's all the rope in there, and I'll paint that up. So yeah, I'm very happy. I'll just clip this guy in.
Okay. So there's nothing left to be added. This is what it's going to look like.
Well, there's a few odds and ends. Like you can actually some pieces here which connect to here. So
Yeah.
like lock them in place.
Oh yeah.
Also, the part that I'm probably not going to do, even though I'd like to, is you see these little guys over here.
Mm-hmm.
You have photo etched little parts to connect there into the end.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you can tell how small those are.
They look
But
pretty tiny.
I'll give it a go when I'm feeling particularly brave.
Mm-hmm.
The next I want to concentrate on is actually spraying.
Oh, getting down to painting.
So yeah, I'm going to put down a light grey primer,
Mm-hmm.
prime the whole kit. I assume I'm going to have to just mask off the plastic bits here. I'll take off the treads as well.
Of course.
So I'm actually looking at doing a winter camo, Battlefield 3 people.
Alborz Mountain.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to use two colors, NATO black for the base.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a German grey for the top. So the base is basically just the bottom part here,
Yeah.
and the top part is this here, just to get the, I think as Brian was telling me, the different lighting.
Yeah.
Once I've put on the blacks and the greys, I'm going to have to do some masking, but we'll keep that for another episode, because that's kind of scary. Because
Camouflage
I've
when
never-
done right looks great.
Yeah, and there's some guy actually posted on our Facebook, his tank, and looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to see what an awesome tank looks like, go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to get this started.
Okay.
The tank is actually looking really groovy.
Yeah, it is. It's looking good.
So yeah. So that's what I plan to do next with my tank.
Yeah.
Should be very exciting.
It's gonna look crazy with some
Yeah.
camouflage. We
Yeah,
haven't shown
camo's
any
cool.
camouflage stuff on the show here.
Oh
yet,
no, we
so-
haven't. Brian has, but
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't. Neither of you, I think.
Nope, not yet.
So Sid, now you have something special to show
I
us
do.
next.
While you were tinkering around on your tank, I tinkered around on the Aventador. I've got more of that done, so I'm going to
Yeah.
show that and little things on how I approached it from a Gunpla builder
Okay,
perspective as opposed to plastic glue and model perspective. So we'll talk about that.
sweet.
That's right.
Sid.
I'm a Lamborghini. Check it out. See, you can see that I've got the wheels in the back, but I left the wheels up the front because I wanted to show the paint job I've done here. This is silver with steel and the orange here. I've decided to go with the orange brake calipers and to get these tires on. You can see I painted the rims with the metallic black, like I said it would. They're actually there's a little tiny plastic piece in there that fits in nice and snug, and all you have to do is put this onto the peg that you've stuck on the tire. But you got to be careful. I mean, the last thing you want to do is break this assembly. I'm actually quite horrified that I will break the steering assembly.
I'm sure your delicate hands won't do any damage.
So with this part done, you can see it looks like a car. So now I got to work on the engine. And the engine, well, it's actually quite small. You can see I've already glued and painted some parts here. Silver, flat black, black, steel. And if you look very closely in here, you can see there's all these little tiny silver areas on here that are meant to be colored. It's really difficult to see, and it's really difficult to actually paint. And I didn't want to actually just take a brush to it. What I wanted to do was approach this from a Gunpla builder's perspective, somebody who does a lot of Gunpla, which means that I took out the Gundam marker. Yeah, I know, I laughed too. But basically what I did with the Gundam marker is I just applied it very carefully to all the little tiny areas it's meant to have. And if you're careful and you know how to use a Gundam marker, it's actually not that difficult.
Yeah.
So I'm going to finish this up here while I got it. It helps to have very good lighting, I must say.
That's a good tip, actually.
Yeah. If you do make a mistake, like I did make a mistake on the previous one because the lighting wasn't very good, and I had made some mistakes. What I did in that case is I just actually took a Copic marker and I would just color over in black where I made that mistake. And when you do the top coat, it'll pretty much disappear. But don't forget that this is going to be sitting underneath the not the hood, but the back window there. So you're not actually going to see a lot of these details. And then once you're done that, it's just a matter of putting it on. So I've done my test fit already, and it looks fine. So I'm going to put some glue there. And I'm going to stick this baby on here. Hold it there for a little bit. And then going forward from there, you can see that I've got this this part here. I've got a matching one. And it's really cool when you even test fit it for the engine, the parts fit in really well. Like I don't even have to glue that part. I can just put it there. I'll come back and glue it afterwards, of course. But just putting it there and seeing how it fits, it stays nice and snug. It's actually really,
Sure, that
really
engine
good.
block looks awesome.
Yeah, I still have to do the supercharger and manifold or whatever. But when it comes to the engine bay, well, that's when you have to put it in there along with some other accessories. And I haven't got that far yet because, well, in order to put it in there, I've got to paint that piece. And this piece is actually pretty large. And it's actually supposed to be black and silver, the inside being silver. So because I'm doing this with spray cans, like, you know, a Gunpla builder I am, what I did was I painted the black first, and then I masked it, and then I painted the silver inside. So actually, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take off all of this masking tape and see how I did. So I'll start, might need to get out my tweezers here, but when you start taking off mask, be very careful and try to go in the order that you put it on, because this is plastic, and if you pull too hard in any direction, sometimes the tape is stronger than the plastic and you will see breakage, which has happened to me in the past. So pulling off my mask. It's easy enough for the wheel wells. I mean, that mask was easy. Just take the biggest tape I have and put it on there. But getting inside was quite a bit different because of the supports in there. Pull this off here. So far it's looking good here. I know there's going to be some areas I have to clean up, but I anticipate that when I start, so I'm not too concerned about it. So pull this part off here. And the way I've done it on the inside is I've actually used a bunch of those squares and rectangles to try to cover the whole thing. So when I take off this top piece, they should all come with them. And the most difficult part of this was in here, these little supports. These are supposed to be black. According to the manual, if I read it correctly, they're supposed to be black. So, you know, do I paint the silver first, mask that, and paint black? Or do I paint the black first, mask that, and paint silver? And that's why I did the latter. I painted the black first. Just because I felt it would be easier to mask outside of this little tiny area rather than inside. And just as you can see how time consuming it is to take this mask off, but let me assure you, it is even more time consuming to put it on if you're concerned about getting into all the tiny spaces like I am. You can see here, this looks pretty good on the edges here. I'm not going to have to worry about cleaning this up too much. Looks good to me.
Oh, it looks super.
Yeah. But I do know that there's going to be some areas that I have to clean up around these braces here. And I'm going to actually pull out my tweezers here, which I always bring along with me, maybe. Yeah. It'll allow me to get in here a little bit better. Pulling this off. I'll pull off this last piece here. Now you can see there's a little bit of bleeding if you can get the camera angle here, of the silver onto the black. But because I have my trusty Copic marker, it's not necessarily a problem for me to just get in there and clean that up. And remember, once you start putting the engine pieces inside, this is not going to be noticeable at all. This angle's pretty tough. That's okay. You could also go in with a brush and paint afterwards if you like. But once I get this done to my satisfaction, the next step was actually to drop the engine inside. And you drop the engine in. I'm going this way. It'll sit back here like this. And of course I got the engine braces that are going to go on over top. And once that's done, pretty much you're done for the mechanical part of it. You've got to start doing the cabin. And I've actually done the first of the gluing for the dashboard. I'm going to have to paint this all one color, and I'm going to have to get in there with a brush and do all the little vents and things like that. There's actually decals and stuff that go along in here too, as well, for the steering assembly. And that'll be part of the cabin. So the cabin is the next in line. I'll be talking about that next week. And then we're going to start looking at how we're going to work on that body. That's the most important part for our Gundam Aventador here. So stay tuned for the rest. All right, so it's looking more like a car now.
Yeah, you've done a fantastic job.
I still got some more work to do on the interior and the frame. I'm going to get to the actual cabin, which is going to be a lot of work. Yeah. But pretty soon I'm going to start actually getting down to applying paint to the body.
Awesome.
To make the RX-782. So that will be in the next upcoming episodes.
You'll demonstrate that for us.
Yeah, I will. I will show some stuff.
You're painting your car, I'll be painting my tank.
Oh, painting. We got to get it done actually, because it's now the end of September. Yeah. And we're going to start seeing some pretty cold weather.
Yeah, the weather is actually almost perfect now.
It's good to get out there and paint now, but you're going to lose your chance, your window of opportunity.
And after this tank, I will be going back to my Falcon and finishing that off, because I really want to finish it off.
Cool. All right.
But
until then, why don't we just concentrate on this episode, and we'll get to the questions part.
Questions.
Okay.
Okay, now some questions are about the competition as well.
Okay.
So are we allowed to use other Aventador pictures that we can color?
No.
No.
You have to use the same line art that everybody else is using.
Yes, and use the one we supply.
Yep.
There is another one that I embedded in episode 89 that someone just cleaned up the scan a bit, so you're welcome to use that as well. I'll put a link into the latest episode as well, so you can grab it there. Hey, Sid and Rhino, would you guys know if there will be an Eureka 7 AO figures or kits being launched? I saw a prototype of a Navish on a blog a few months back from some hobby expo in Japan, but there was no release date or anything. I
haven't heard anything, but then I don't really focus on that line of stuff. There are some Nervash kits, but I don't think they're Eureka 7 kits. Okay. And it's got some from some time ago. That's something to look into though. I mean, if you saw that at a hobby show, then maybe it's a prototype, maybe something's on the way, but we haven't seen any announcements for officially. Okay.
That was Dreadnought 2044.
Yeah.
Great video. I'm thinking about trying my first Gundam kit. What would you recommend? By the way, I also live in Canada, but on the opposite side of the country. NS.
NS is Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia.
That is the opposite side of the country.
Yeah.
Like 3,000 kilometers away from where I am. Never been there. Looks beautiful.
Yeah.
For a first Gundam kit, I always recommend that suit that you like the most. If there's a Gundam suit you like, build that one. And then if you like the process of building it, you can look at other Gundam suits.
I always say mega size. Okay, great show guys. Definitely going to try to color the Aventador. Nice. But I was wondering if there will ever be a mega size Age FX, because it seems like they skipped out on the Age 3.
I don't know what Bandai's going to do with that mega size line, to be honest, because I think the interest in it has dwindled. Like they put out the Age 2,
the one I built,
the one you built, and after that I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
And when you consider the amount of suits available to Bandai to create in that scale, like they can literally do anything, but it's been pretty quiet on that front. I think maybe just the desire of people to build basically a glorified HG isn't really there.
Which is sad for Marion. That's from Ghost Quanta.
Still a perfect grade.
Women can have mullets. The mulletta.
Oh, the
That's from
I forgot about the mulletta.
Really? That's a word?
Well, is mullet a word?
I never heard that one. Yeah, makes sense.
I guess if the Maletta is
Short in the front,
exist,
really long in the back.
then Olivia Newton-John had one.
That's good to know.
The Maletta.
This is from Cars, Robots and Games. Does it have to be Gundam only for the color scheme? Or can it be any other color scheme? Shenanju or Delta Plus colors from the Gundam universe? I think you answered this.
Yeah, I did. I mentioned that in the beginning of the episode. Yeah, anything. Anything's awesome. A Delta Plus Aventador would be fantastic. I'd love to see that. And a Shenanju all red. Yeah, it'd be good. With some gold.
Let your imagination go wild.
Big Xeon sign. Oh, sorry. My imagination's going wild.
We're talking about signs and stuff. This guy asked about using Photoshop, which we said no to, no digital manipulation. But then somebody asked after that, can we apply old unused Gundam decals? I think it's...
I don't really understand this question, because if you're just doing a line art, then will you stick a decal onto your drawing and then scan it or take a picture of it? Well, yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
If you're actually building the kit, you would use the decals.
Yeah.
Like, I've got here. But
as long as it's not all decals, like we want to see your natural drawing skills and all those.
Just stay in the lines. That's what we want to see.
Stay in the lines. Okay, next. Can you have multiple entries? We said no.
Nope.
Sid and Ryan, I want to enter in the context, but I don't have a scanner. Well, that's okay. You can take high quality photos.
Yeah. We just assume that people would have access to a scanner. I mean,
as long as
it's pretty common these
when
days.
you take your photo, you crop it.
Yeah. Just do your best. Get a good resolution image. Send it to us.
So it's a battle between Ryan versus Sid. Who's got the best finished wheel model design? I don't know.
Oh, it's not finished yet. I'll win, by the way.
We'll see how I'll see how I feel at the end, and if I'm not embarrassed, sure.
Then it's a victory. All right.
That's from Savvy Mabel. Oh, Sid and Ryan.
Oh, Cyan. Even you're confusing us now.
We're just one and the same.
It's time to stop.
I bet this is your scan. Okay, this is the guy. It's probably best to use a cleaner printout, use less ink, and looks neater overall. This is the guy. He was kind enough to clean up the scan.
I really appreciate this, actually.
We'll post his links again on episode 90 on the blog.
Yeah.
And on YouTube. Yeah. Actually, his name is Clay Cannon 2. Hey guys, I have a question about the website. How up to date are you on upcoming kits? I mean, how long from when there is an update on a kit is reflected on your site? Thanks.
As soon as we get the information from Bandai and the distributors, we put it on our site. However, there's a little bit of a gap, because you'll find information about this kit on in a hobby magazine or on the website before you'll actually be able to purchase it from us, before the pre-order opens up.
Yeah.
Because Bandai pushes that information out to the public first to get that buzz, and then they release all the details about pricing and shipping information and stuff like that. And that's when we are able to create the item code and start taking pre-orders. So there's a little bit of a delay. You'll see the picture of it before you can pre-order it, but generally it's only like less than a week or so. Yeah. As soon as that hits the internet and the buzz is going, we get on it, and we get catalogs from Bandai every month at a certain time, and then we have to.
Yeah, I mean, our Gundam section is pretty up to date.
Yeah,
always.
And we always try to grab the pictures right off of Bandai's site if we can, so we get the most up to date images. So,
sweet. Hi, Sid and Ryan. Good job on this show. I just want to clarify in the comment that SD was created to attract the girls. I'm a woman. Oh my God, Sid, women watch our show.
Of course they do.
And I got onto Gundam not through the SD series, but through the Gundam Seed HD series. So, I just want to say that Gundam is not only a guy's hobby, but also can be a hobby for girls.
Of course. This is like any hobby. I mean, when you think about what we're modeling, which is giant robots, of course the tendency is that it's going to be a lot of boys, grown men, grown boys, who are into this. But of course, like she says, there's women who just find this hobby in itself just as enjoyable as a male would.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube throws out stats for like who's watching your videos, and like it's like men is like 90%. So yeah, that is good. It's a great hobby for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure that there is a growing population of women and girls who are beginning to discover Gundam and Hobbylink TV. And Hobbylink TV have been most helpful in spreading the knowledge and interest in Gundam. Thanks for reading my comment. Well, that's awesome. Yeah. Thank you very much.
I'm actually glad she wrote in.
Yeah, so I was like, I guess that's the comment where I was like, well, SDs weren't just made for girls.
Well, this actually brings up another comment I'd like to make. Is like, if we have, there's any other female viewers out there of our show, why don't you write in and let us know how you got into the hobby, because it's pretty easy to guess how a man got into this hobby. You know, I saw an anime with a giant robot. But how do women get into this hobby? How do they find it? You know, for the most part, when you think about what is presented to girls as opposed to boys at a young age, you know, they're shown these things that they're supposed to be interested in. You know, where does the crossover happen?
Yeah, that's a good question. So if you can answer Sid's great question, that would be awesome. Tony Monaco. Now that I think about it, I think I had an Aventador as my desktop not too long ago.
I did too.
What a great looking car. The lines on it are almost Gundam sharp and intimidating, just the way a Lamborghini should be, I say.
I agree. Got those great
Absolutely.
lines, especially as it tapers off to the back. I think the Aventador with that back end.
Yeah, when I read this comment, I think it's had a few comments on this comment.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good choice, Sid.
Oh, of course.
Gundam on the brain.
Every day I wake up.
In my Gundam pajamas.
Not quite. Maybe if I was 12 or 13 or 10 or 8.
Well, you can buy everything Gundam here. Your
I
whole
know.
house can. You can go to a Gundam hotel. Don't some hotels have like Gundam suites?
Gundam themes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. It's
Japan.
Gundam country. All right, are we done?
We are done. I'll just pimp our Facebook.
Yep.
Come have a look at our Facebook. Have a
Our
look at our
blog.
blog, our YouTube channel. Subscribe to us. And yeah. Oh, and we will. Hopefully, by the time this is airing, we will have a Gundam Age sale going on.
There's a Gundam Age sale starting. Yeah.
So,
it's going to start very soon. But of course, by the time they
Well,
see
it
this
starts
video,
on
chances are it's
Tuesday next week.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
so-
Actually, when you're seeing this, a day later, there should be a Gundam sale.
Age.
Gundam Age sale going on.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So I think we'll close with that.
Yep.
All right. And next episode, you can look forward to more of this.
And more of this.
All right. See you later.
See ya.